We are here with freelance journalist extraordinaire Dylan Rush, throwing that jab cross hook very nicely. Dylan Rush is here for Bellator Fight Week. Brother, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, man. Of course. We're just hanging out. It's not even hardly a show. I just figure we turn some cameras on while I'm hanging out with my guy Dylan. Always good to see you at fights, brother.
It's great to be here, man. It never gets old. Temecula, California. Never been here before. It looks pretty nice, man. I have no complaints, man. Good card, too.
I was telling Leah McCourt, I don't know, I think she brought the weather from Ireland because this shit is gloomy. Southern California, normally no rain. It's raining outside. I don't know what's going on.
What's her nickname?
Yeah, she's the curse. The curse.
Ah, makes sense.
You superstitious?
A little bit. Maybe not as much as the average fighter, though. I feel like fighters are a superstitious breed.
I have a few fights. I don't know if I can call myself a fighter anymore, being that I stopped. But I am completely not superstitious, Dylan.
Really?
Zero, man.
What about routine? There's a difference. Having a routine.
I brush my teeth before I go to bed. That's my routine. I don't know.
We got the same routine, man. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Give me your superstitions.
My superstitions? Like if I'm betting on something, a sport, like say I'm betting on a baseball game, and my team is winning, I will not move from my seat. And if I move somewhere and my team starts losing, I move back to that seat. Yep.
What the fuck?
Definitely.
So you think, is it that it makes you feel better, or do you really think that the performance is going to change based on what seat you're in?
My dad, I'll tell you this, I actually believe it. Like I actually believe in my superstitions. My dad, whenever we watch basketball together, nothing to do with betting, just when we watch the Knicks, I'm from New York, he mutes the television every time the opposing team is shooting free throws because he believes that if the television is muted, they're going to miss the free throws. Superstition.
Wow. So there could be thousands of families watching this game, but just so happens that your house,
the Rushes,
is the Rush household is deciding what goes down in the game.
Yeah, it's a little conceited, right? It's a little arrogant of us.
I didn't think of it that way, but I guess so. My little sisters love ghost stories. Mm-hmm. They love ghost shows. They're all into this thing. There's something fun about having a superstition, having a paranormal thing. Just right there. Ghosts? Believe in ghosts?
No.
No?
No.
Religious?
Spiritual, but no ghosts. Aliens? Yes. Aliens, I do believe in. Conspiracy theorist? A little bit.
Okay.
You want to hear my biggest one?
Please.
The one that I get the most, shit for? I don't think we landed on the moon, man. I just don't think we did it. I just don't think it happened.
Oh, man.
The Earth is round, of course.
Okay, okay.
There's not, but...
I thought you were going to go the other way with that.
No,
I thought you were going to go the Earth is flat.
I don't think we landed on the moon.
At
least not when we said we did. At least the first time back in the 1950s, maybe it was the early 60s. I think it was... Yeah. I don't think they actually landed on the moon that time. I think that was fake.
Why was it fake?
I don't know. I think it was all about it was the space race between U.S., Russia, China, whoever else was involved. They wanted to show they were the big guys. They're the big guns. They wanted to show that they had a technology to do it. I can't give a reason to why the U.S. would do it. I haven't really, put too much into it, but maybe something like they wanted to tell their citizens or tell the rest of the world, we are the powerful ones. We're the ones that got to the moon, this, that, and third, whatever it may be. But I just don't think it happened.
So
green screen.
Sure. That, what you just said is true. We were in a space race and we did want to go to the moon, but whether or not we did go to the moon, the motivation stays the same, right? They had the motivation to or to film it, as you're saying. Have you ever heard Joe Rogan debate the guy from NASA on the radio? Have you ever heard this thing? How the hell? Okay, if you are anti-moon, or if you're a moon conspiracy theorist, bro, you have to listen to this. It's all over YouTube.
I love Joe Rogan, so... Who's the other guy? Neil deGrasse Tyson?
I will send it to you. He has debated Neil about this, but Neil kind of dragged Joe over, and it seems like other people Joe have talked to, Joe is pro, he believes it happened now. But Joe was on the other side, and when I was a young man like Dylan Rush, I also believed that the moon landing was fake. However, through more inquiry, I do think it's real. Elon Musk says it's real. He knows a lot about physics and rocketry, right?
So I have some growing up to do is what I'm hearing.
I didn't say it. I'm just saying when I was your age, it was a different time period too, because I didn't have access to all these podcasts now. I don't know how many times I've been able to go on to podcasts and listen to astronauts, listen to physicists, listen to people who I have a respect for, explain it to me and offer me sort of other viewpoints and other pieces of evidence. You know
what's crazy? At a certain point, is like formal education going to be necessary when a couple years from now, it's like every top scientist and mathematician, astronaut, whatever you want to, whatever it may be, you could just go listen to them speak. You could go take notes on their podcasts and stuff. I mean, is that so much different than learning in school and maybe paying $50,000 a year, $80,000 a year for college?
You just graduated, right?
In a month.
You graduate in a month.
Yes.
And you probably spent a couple dollars on that education, right?
Spent a couple dollars. I'm in a little debt.
I skipped that part. Okay, I went to like community college. I went to Illinois Media School, got my little certificate.
Christian Edwards.
You know what I mean? But what's going on, Christian? Enjoying some fist fights this weekend? Let's go.
Go Archie. Go. Yes, sir. Good luck, brother.
We just saw light heavyweight Christian Edwards walk by, Bellator staple. Okay, back to conspiracy theories and education. So Peter Thiel, has a couple good quotes about education. I wonder if you align with them, but based on what you just said. First of all, he says college is like an insurance policy parents take out for their kids. It's so you don't fall through the large cracks in society. Oh, honey, go get a degree so you'll figure it out in life, right? As to where it seems to me that education being 4 times more expensive now is sort of a bubble. It's like, Dylan, do you think education is 4 times more valuable or 4 times better now than it was in the 90s?
If anything, going back to my last point, it's less valuable than it was in the 90s because of the social media, because of the podcast, the YouTube videos, the how-to videos on everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you could get the best teaching and guidance, but say you want to be a plumber. Yeah. Yes, you can go to trade school, but you can go on YouTube and figure out every different thing everything there is to know about plumbing, just based on YouTube videos, tutorial videos, stuff like that. It's like, I think school is less valuable. Formal education is less valuable than it was 20 years ago.
People don't know about YouTube University. Guys, Andrew Huberman's podcast, Huberman Lab, is insane. I go on and I look at like Oxford's got a page, Harvard's got a page, and they put all this content out there for free.
What about Google Scholar and JSTOR? You could look at every academic paper ever written, all these people's like masters and PhDs, all these different things. Like anybody can learn from stuff like that. Some people there are definitely people out there that would have an easier time learning that way than in the formal way, sitting in a classroom. I could think of someone that's sitting around us right now that probably learns better. Matt Davies.
Matt Davies?
Yes.
Is that right? Look, I think you're hitting the nail on the head there, man. I think you're ahead of your time, and I do think by the time that we have kids, I might be closer to it than Dylan over here, married and all. Girl? No?
No.
No?
Mom. Christmas.
It's the most important girl right there, Mom. Okay, so I think that that you don't need to go to college anymore. That education will be decentralized, and that through technology and through advanced communication via the internet, we'll be able to learn anything. Right now, I'm going to try to compete at ADCC next month.
Hell yeah.
Trials. I am studying John Danaher's instructionals, and I am learning so much just watching my laptop. Recording some stuff on my phone for training, and then going in and training with people. I don't even need John in the room to take
Joey Davis
new wave jiu-jitsu's techniques. So it's like the sky is the limit. One thing I talk about fighters, to bring this back to MMA now, is when
I was
Muhammad
wondering
Ali,
when we were gonna bring it back to MMA.
We don't have to.
How we were when we were. I'm having a good time.
I can talk about education all day because it's bullshit, and people pay way too much money to go to school. It is insane. My sisters are paying really 6 figures. This is insane. Wow. Don't even tell them how much you spent on school.
I got lucky. I got a little scholarship. I'm a little smart guy, man. What can I say?
Really?
I think I paid like $15,000 a year at ASU.
Whoa.
And I'm paying like 30 of it myself, like student loans.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. And what was the major?
Meanwhile, sports journalism. Meanwhile, my friends are going to Tulane. $85,000 a year. No financial aid, no scholarship.
$85,000 a year. What if you took that and invested in a business?
That's an idea, man. Now you're on to something. The fact that I feel like nobody's ever thought of that. That's a good idea.
Isn't that
Just
crazy?
crack the code.
Yeah, you don't even need an angel investor. You just go do it yourself.
What's
Okay, tying it back to MMA.
Yeah.
What is an angel investor?
No, I was gonna say, what's 80 times 4? 320. You take 320,000. I could turn $320,000 into a lot more money than that. It takes money to make money, man. So
It'd be a hell of a startup. You got nothing to lose, man.
Yeah.
You're 21. You got nothing to lose. I'm saying that when Muhammad Ali, I'm tying it back now. Muhammad Ali was a fighter. He couldn't look at YouTube videos.
No.
When I was competing even in amateur MMA, I was able to go and watch tutorials from Freddie Roach and all these great coaches. So it really opens up the world, man. It really changes everything, including martial arts. All right. Back to MMA. Dylan Rush has spent some time in Vegas. I saw you hanging out with my man, Mads Burnell.
the Danish Dave Chappelle.
Why is he Dave Chappelle?
He's a funny guy.
Okay.
He's a hilarious. He's one of them. I think he might be the funniest fighter in Bellator.
Okay. Yeah.
And he looks a little bit like Dave Chappelle if he was Danish.
I got one. All right, Mads, I love your feed, but have you seen the stories from Ryan Bader? His story.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's literally the best thing in MMA. Have you not seen me post-fight after he defeated Fedor Emelianenko in the biggest Bellator fight of the year? And I asked him, where do you get your memes from?
No, what'd he say?
That's how I phrased the question. He said his wife, this, that. It wasn't like the best of answers. It was funny though. But I was like, you just defeated Fedor Emelianenko. Da-da-da. The world wants to know, Ryan Bader, where do you get your memes? That's what I said.
Dude, I find myself screenshotting so many of his memes. He is tremendous with them.
I send them to people that know nothing about MMA, don't know who Ryan Bader is from Adam, and they follow. I literally go on Ryan Bader's page. It's like all of my friends, even girls that don't know anything about cage fighting, follow him now because his memes are just that funny. So shout out Ryan Bader.
Ryan Bader's the man. Sullivan Colley, his training partner, is throwing down this weekend, and I'm sure Ryan Bader will be interested in that one. Ryan, are you even coming? He might be out fucking hunting something.
You know who I heard is going to be here this Friday night?
Go on.
Heard through the, what is it called, the grapevine? Justin Gaethje will be in attendance on Friday night.
Who is he here to check out?
His best friend and teammate, Archie Colgan, man.
Oh, makes sense. Makes sense. Archie's got a big fight, too. Wow. Okay.
I am so excited for these fights. I'm telling you this. I'm not the biggest bettor there is, but I do pay attention to the odds. Every time Archie fights, he's minus 500. Every time Sully fights, he's minus 500. Every time Lance Gibson fights, he's minus 400. Lance Gibson, plus 165 for this one. Archie Colgan, minus 270 for this one. Sullivan Colley, only minus 200 for this one. These are close, competitive fights. They're making them, there's no more tune-ups for these guys. These are real fights, and I'm excited to see it. And it's going to be a good night, man.
Dude,
Close fights.
They're getting tested. Yeah,
Getting tested.
I saw you. Were you texting somebody or whatever? Where you guys were surprised when you saw those Lance Gibson odds against Tokov? I mean, yeah, some of these are going to be competitive fights, but it's interesting. They seem primed for them, man. It seems like almost the odds makers got some of them wrong, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. Yeah. Can I give one take on one?
Go!
Lance Gibson at plus 165 is a joke. It's a joke. The fact that he's an underdog in this fight is a joke, especially even without this. But the fact that he went away from his humble camp, he has a good camp, he has a good gym, Gibson MMA, way up north. He goes down to Fight Ready and trains with these juggernauts, these wrestling. Henry Cejudo, need I say more? He said Henry Cejudo was in his ear the whole time. Dan Moret, guys like Henry Corrales, like, Bryce Logan, just all these great Bellator fighters, UFC fighters, just MMA fighters in general, working with him day in and day out. He was there for weeks. He was there for maybe over a month. So I think Lance Gibson is better than he's ever been. Need I say more about his physique? I mean, come on, this guy's an animal. So I'm picking Lance Gibson to win this fight.
You heard it here first, folks. Dylan Rush on Lance Gibson Jr. Yeah. Hey, he looks confident, man. He looks good for sure. And yeah, he seems to be in the right headspace. And you're talking about him training over there with Henry. You know what's also good is that he timed it right, because Henry is training to go fight Aljamain Sterling right now. Yep. So Henry's in camp. He said Henry was fired up, yelling at him while he's getting coached. I feel like that's a really, really good recipe for him to have a good fight here. Because when I went to go see Henry last year, we smoked a joint at his house. We were chilling. It was a different vibe with Henry back then.
Now
he got the lion.
Mm-hmm. He knows how to switch it, man. He knows how to switch it up. That's why he's Triple C. That's why he's the 2-division champ. When it's time to turn all that shit off and get to grinding, he does just that, and it pays off, as it's shown in his last however many fights.
We got to talk about it now. Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. How does this fight go down, Dylan?
Aljamain Sterling wins. He wins soundly. Aljamain Sterling is the best bantamweight fighter in the world. Henry Cejudo is amazing, amazing wrestler. I maybe disagree. I think most people disagree. I feel like most people I ask have Henry Cejudo. And I'm not just like fans. I'm talking fighters. I'm talking coaches. It seems like the community is backing Henry Cejudo.
Yeah.
Whether it be they like him or they think he's going to win. I think Aljamain Sterling is just a little bit better everywhere. Not like at the, the Olympic wrestling, like the core wrestling techniques and whatnot. But when it comes to cage fighting or in the cage, the MMA wrestling, it's a little bit different ball game. Of course, Henry knows that. But I think I think Aljamain's just going to edge him a little bit. He's going to get the back. He's either gonna do what he did to Jan and get a decision, hold that body triangle like Islam did to Volkanovski, or he's gonna find that choke, man. If I were to guess, Aljamain 5-round decision.
So Aljamain wasn't getting the respect he's getting now, but then he won the title. I like how Henry said it, via Academy Award. Pretty funny. Henry's pretty fucking funny.
He's great.
And then he goes on, he gets the rematch, and he looks good in it. But then Merab looked way more dominant against Petr Yan. So there's, I'm like, okay, so how good is Petr Yan, or what's happening with Petr? And then you look at the last one, and it was an injury problem, man. It was like, TJ Dillashaw just had his shoulder pop out. I don't know how good Aljamain Sterling is.
What about that Corey submission in less than a minute?
Okay.
We know how good Corey is.
Best performance of his career.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Yeah, Corey Sandhagen is.
Yeah, I don't put anything into that TJ win. I mean, nobody does. Like, that was
shoulder popped out.
Yeah, he was. It
was sad.
You see who Merab's fighting next?
You think it's gonna be Corey?
No, he's fighting Umar Nurmagomedov next in a main event of a fight night.
I didn't see that announced.
Yeah, it's not announced officially, but Merab was offered the fight. He accepted, but he was injured. He got injured. He injured his hand in the Jan fight, or prior to the Jan fight. So Umar, it's gonna happen in July, main event fight night.
You like that fight?
I love that fight because nobody else wants to fight Umar. The rest of the division's either booked up or has fought recently. So I think the next two fights in the bantamweight division, Merab Umar and not Font. What am I saying? And Cheeto Jan.
Dude, you gotta lean Merab in that fight. Did you see the video of the fan yelling over the stands? And Merab climbs up and he tries to go, he's like, come here, motherfucker, I fuck your face.
And the fan didn't even say anything that bad. Like, I don't even know what was happening.
He's like, I want to see you get the title fight.
But Merab, have you seen videos of Merab just literally like running up trees? I'm not talking about climbing trees, like running up trees in Jamaica. No. It's ridiculous. Like,
what?
Aljamain says that Merab climbs anything and everything. What about that one video of Merab diving headfirst into the frozen lake? Have you seen that?
Either of these.
I saw that for the first time. Bro, his head just covered in blood like it was a mistake, like he messed up. And he runs back to the camera. He's like, why did I do that? And they show the aftermath, and it was like a bloody mess. Yeah, he's a crazy guy.
Oh, my God.
And he looked crazy against Petr Yan in that fight.
The pace.
How many takedowns attempt?
46,000.
Yeah, 200. Like,
it was
geez.
Crazy, man.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, the pace he put on him was insane. I feel like that was like all-time cardio performance. It reminded me of like prime Cain Velasquez, Colby Covington. Yep. You can put him on that short list of like, where does this cardio come from?
That's crazy.
That's one thing I've never had, right? Having cardio is such a. I always said if I could have any superpower for a fighter, unlimited strength, whatever. No, cardio.
Yeah, he was going harder in the fifth round than he was going in the first.
I'm saying, man, Merab is
to bring it back to Bellator real quick, though.
Go ahead.
I think one of the best bantamweights in the world, all organizations together, is Patchy Mix.
Yeah.
I think Patchy Mix is so criminally underrated. I think that will come to an end April 22nd when he fights Rafian Satz. If he's able to pull off the win, he's great. He's 17-1. He was 11-0 as an amateur. So we're at 28-1 all time. His one loss, it was a championship fight against Juan Archuleta. We all know how bad of a man Juan Archuleta is. He's like 28-4. And Patchy went out there, won the first 2 rounds, lost the last 3. Something that you never see. You never see someone win 2 rounds, lose the last 3, and lose the decision. But that's exactly what happened. Patchy was a bit younger. Juan was a bit more experienced. He'd been a champion of multiple organizations. And now he's learned from it. Juan trained with Patchy very recently and said that he's improved in every area of the game. He's expecting a win. He's expecting a finish from Patchy Mix at Bellator Hawaii, April 22nd.
I think Patchy Mix has the best guillotine in the sport right now.
Mhm.
If you guys keep up with Patchy, he'll be in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Las Vegas, and he's throwing that guillotine on black belts, and he's getting them to tap like this. I feel like anybody can get caught in that strangle. But Super Stotts is a real problem.
I know.
I think he's criminally underrated after that Danny Sabatello fight. People are writing him off. Dude, Super Stotts can knock anybody out. He was going through some adversity with Juan Archuleta. Boom, throws a head kick up there and knocks him out. There's your common opponent. Patchy loses to him, and Stotts wins by knockout, right? So I feel like the danger of fighting a Rafael Stotts is going to be real. It'll be interesting to see what Patchy does.
And like I said with Patchy, 1 round away from being undefeated, 1 round removed from being undefeated. Rafael Stotts is 1 punch removed from being undefeated. That Morab was looking for a fight in like Kansas City, wherever that was.
Right.
Just that 1 spinning back fist was a crazy move. I mean, he didn't anticipate it, but who could blame him? That was crazy. So both guys very close to being undefeated, very evenly matched. No idea what you know what the odds are for that fight? Who's the favorite?
I gotta think Patchy's a slight favorite, but I'm just guessing.
I think Patchy's the favorite.
If we didn't sell that fight to you guys, I don't know what will. Patchy Mix versus Rafael Stotts. Gotta see that shit. You gotta tune in. All right, there are fights going down this weekend. Let's talk about them. First one, Liam McCourt coming from Northern Ireland, taking on Kat Zingano, the veteran Kat Zingano, the woman who she said she got the breast implants taken out and she's feeling a lot better. Like hearing her talk about how sick she was with the breast implants and she was fighting with all those sickness, all the illnesses, all the things she couldn't eat. She had an allergic reaction to most foods. She was saying how much it was affecting her day-to-day life, much less her just performance in the cage. I'm interested to see what a prime Cat looks like. I know she's 40, but damn, her wrestling is looking better than ever, and she could potentially try to neutralize a very dangerous Liam McCourt. Liam McCourt, of course, judo black belt, very high-level jiu-jitsu, nasty triangles, wins by submission, and she could strike too. What do you see when you look at their matchup?
I see a close fight. I wanted to say real quick that I saw Kat Zingano after her last victory over Pam Sorensen. I think it was Bellator 282 last June, and she was in tears. She was devastated. Her knee was hurting, her elbow, whatever it was. She was injured. She's been dealing with lingering injuries. Of course, the breast implant, she was sick, a lot of things. Seems like she's more healthy going into this one than a lot of her previous fights. It also seems like she was led on to believe that she would be fighting for the title by now or even like a couple months ago. So I think Kat is hungrier than ever. I think she wants to silence everyone and everything, including Chris Cyborg. She's coming for the title. Liam McCourt, she's a good fighter, a little bit less experienced than Kat Zingano. I'm curious to see. She made it sound like she's fought in America a lot of times. 3 of those were jiu-jitsu matches. She's only fought 2 pro fights, mixed martial arts, in America twice. She's only fought in America twice. Every other fight's in Ireland or maybe England, like 1 in Belgium, but she always has the crowd behind her. This time she's going to be rained down with boos. I'm assuming, Kat Zingano's a big name, big ex-UFC, American. I think, of course, that's not going to decide the fight. There's Kat Zingano right now.
Oh, my gosh. But speak of the devil.
But I think Kat's going to win. I'm picking Kat. I'm picking Kat Zingano to win the fight.
Come crash it, Kat. Come on. We'll scooch for you. We'll scooch really quick. Oh, my gosh. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. The co-main event of the evening, Kat Zingano stopping by. Thank you, Kat. Appreciate that.
Good luck, Kat.
Glad I caught you. We can't have you getting injured before the fight, Kat. You're saying how healthy you are.
I was jumping out of the way.
That was awesome. I was telling Kat, I told her she was not going to like the question, but I saw Chris Cyborg at the gym. You're all good. Put it back on. You're all good. We ain't even cutting this. This is all just natural. I'm gonna upload the whole thing. So I hope this is making a ton of noise right now.
Can we get Cam in here, man? I don't know how to do this.
Good? I think you got it.
I think I got it. Come on, man.
We'll do the SpongeBob.
3 hours later.
Yeah, you actually should do that. You should cut it
You
and
like
do that.
that?
All right, wait. This is gonna be easy now that I took it off. All right, good.
Just hold it like a little mic.
Kat Zingano's fault.
Wow, she came in and dove. That was awesome.
Imagine I was saying the opposite. Imagine I was saying like Kat's been injured recently. Like I don't think she has it. Right? The main event. Listen, I know we're unbiased. I know we're just here to talk about the fights and whatnot, but I know Daniel James is your guy, man. I know you guys have a close relationship. Do you see him upsetting Marcelo Gome in Friday night's main event?
Look, everybody counted him out against Tyrell Fortune. And I told you that I have friends who bet on fights. I'll just tell you they put a decent amount of money on Daniel James because they knew something in the recipe was going to come through. when it came time. And listen, man, Daniel James is more dangerous than ever. Another guy, we're talking about Kat Zingano's 40, another 40-year-old who's
41.
in his prime. I feel like at 41 years old, Daniel James is finally putting all of his experience together with being able to lay on the gas pedal. One thing he used to have to do is sort of start slow, open-handed, get a hold of people, and as the fight would go on, he would kind of overwhelm them with his size. Now he's closing his fucking fists, and he's putting people out, and it's badass to watch because he still has the wrestling, he still has the clinch, he still has the ability to the physicality he puts on people. So Marcelo Gomes, so good at jiu-jitsu,
So good.
but I don't know if he'll be able to use it, brother. He has to get to the top position. It's going to be tough. You heard what he told me. He's like, no, I'm going to go strike with Daniel James. That's interesting. If he's ready to go toe-to-toe striking, who knows? I think it's a coin flip of a fight.
They're both 2-0. Both 2-0 in Bellator.
That's right.
It's a close fight. It's like all these fights, every single one competitive. I cannot tell you for sure that any one person, any one man or one woman is going to win any of the fights this weekend, regardless of the odds. So I'm so excited for it. I'll give my pick for the main event, the under. Don't care if it's half a round. Don't care if it's 1.5 rounds, 2.5 rounds. This fight's not going the distance. I don't know about under half a round, but this fight's not going the distance. There's two big heavyweights. I know Marcelo, he's known for his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but he says he wants to strike. And I believe him, man. He seems like he wants to strike. He wants to bang. So that's going to be a good one.
I like that.
That's going to be,
And I'll give you guys one since I host Moneyline, a show where we talk bets. Mine is, I would say, pick the over for the co-main event. Zingano is going to have a lot of trouble finishing Leah McCourt, even if it's going her way. And even if it's going Leah McCourt's way, I think these women are going to go all 3 rounds. So over co-main event, and then Dylan saying under main event, these big boys are going to clash. Look, they're dope fights. I'm super excited. You know what else is coming up? Next week, we've got Alex Pereira taking on Israel Adesanya for the 3rd time, 2nd time in MMA. What do you make of this fight?
I mean, I make of it what everyone makes of it. I mean, goddamn, I can't wait to see it. Everybody can't wait to see it. That's why they've made it 3, 4, 5. It might be 6. Who knows at this point? I don't know. Just keep making it every couple months. We're all going to tune in. I mean, we all know what's at what's at stake. The title, the pride, everything, the storyline behind it. It's unreal. It's so great. It's everything you want in a fight. When it comes to fights, a lot of people think it's like, oh, these two guys are really good. Like, people want to see the two best fight. And yes, that is true. We want to see the best of the best fight each other. But without a good storyline and some back and forth and this and that, you see the posts that Alex Pereira is making. You see the stuff that Izzy has said in the past. They're just building it up so well. Can't wait to see it go down. It's going to come down to Alex Pereira's left hook and his takedown defense versus Izzy's just technical striking ability. I think Izzy's going to utilize his wrestling. I feel like he'd be a fool not to. Then again, I thought Justin Gaethje was going to last week, and he didn't, and he got the win. So I personally would go with Israel Adesanya. I think he's going to avenge that last loss. I think he has what it takes to really bite down that mouthpiece, go forward, and get the. He almost finished him the first time. Not the first time, but the last time.
He rocks him at the end of the first round.
20 more seconds of that round. Izzy might be, and still 10.
Right? I know that's why those rounds get in the way. Damn it! They should just let them fight. Let them fight. I mean, little things like when Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards were broken up from the clinch. Leon knocks Kamaru out. It's like if they weren't broken up from the clinch, Joe Rogan protested it.
Yeah.
Kamaru would have stayed the champ. It's crazy how rounds, referees.
I think Alexander Volkanovski is a 2-division champion right now if there's no rounds involved. I think if that's a 25-minute fight with no stoppages, no rounds, I think all 3 judges would have scored it for Volkanovski.
That's phenomenal.
Especially with that last minute and how that fight ended.
You heard that shit, Islam Makhachev? Man, that was
lost.
a good fight. Woo! I had him 3 rounds to 2.
I do too. Yeah, Islam.
Okay.
3-2.
Gotcha.
But with no rounds, I say Alex won.
Look, I think the unsung hero of that was Craig Jones, one of the best jiu-jitsu competitors on earth. Craig Jones was in the corner and trained Alex Volkanovski that entire camp, and the things they employed were exactly what Craig Jones put out on his DVD. Craig, can you pay me for this plug? He put out Just Stand Up. I've been watching it, Dylan. I'm getting ready to try to compete in grappling myself. I've been watching it. It is literally exactly what Volkanovski was doing. Just Stand Up is how to get to the turtle position, get back up, get the wrestler off of you.
That's a good name.
I mean, he's hilarious. Just Stand Up is like, I think the reading under it is like how jiu-jitsu doesn't work if you just stand up. He's hilarious.
You seen that video that Eric Nixick, the head coach of Extreme Couture, put out? It's just Francis Ngannou laying on top of Chris Curtis. And it was Eric and like Jason Manley, all these coaches are screaming, just get up, just stand up.
He needs Craig Jones DVD. That's what he needs. Why do I say DVD? What do they call the instructional? Is that what I should say? We don't like put the DVD in anymore. I'm showing my
You're
age
a 90s
now.
kid. I'm a 2000s kid,
God
man.
damn it. God damn it. Really? When were you born?
11/11/01 is my birthday.
Oh my God, that is bizarre to me, man. Wow. All right. Yeah, I'm fucking old now. What can I say? Okay, so big UFC fights coming up that we're excited about. I want to talk about you, Dylan. What do you have going on? And I ask this question to everybody I interview, and I'm always interested to see what the big goal is. So most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year. They'll put a New Year's resolution out there, and it doesn't happen. But most people underestimate what they can do in 10 years. You could be an astronaut. You could be a doctor. Maybe even go to the moon for the first time, right? So
that would be something.
SpaceX, hit them up.
I feel like it'd be a lot easier to fake it though, and get the same result, end result.
The CGI is much better today, man. Yeah. What is Dylan Rush's 10-year goal?
To put it so simply and maybe even just stupidly, I want to be the next Arrow Hawani mixed with Will Harris Productions. If you know who Will Harris is, I think he's the best videographer when it comes to just about anything, but specifically his fight documentaries. I think they're amazing. I really want to get into doing stuff like that. I've started to with Extreme Couture, but not as much. You know, Will Harris is there for the whole camp. He's doing things on fight week. He's doing things on fight night, whether they win, lose, and stuff like that. So that's someone that I really look up to. I hope somehow he sees that and he's like, oh, let me give this dude a shot, you know? But and then Arrow Hawani, I met him, I interviewed him. He's just like a great guy. I think he's a great journalist. I know a lot of people have a bunch of different opinions of him, but I think he's done the job right day in and day out for 20 years. I think he's remained unbiased. I think he speaks well. I think he sells fights well. I think part of the job as a journalist is to be a little bit of a marketer and a promoter, like we're doing sitting here promoting Patchy Mix and Rafian Stotts. I'm not getting paid to do that, but as a journalist, I'm not only trying to help the promotion, I'm trying to help the fighter. I like Patchy and Rafian. And I'm trying to help the fans too. I want the fans to tune in. So yeah, but to get back to your question, I want to be the best combat sports journalist of all time. I want to be the best combat sports journalist since Howie Cosell. And that's my goal for 10 years from now when I'm 31 years old.
I love it. He said it with his chest, folks. I like that a lot. We came around to it. That's a lofty goal, man. All the best to you in doing that. Dylan, before I wrap this shit up, what do we need to cover? What did we not hit?
I just want to say that these Bellator prelims this week, 293, are on YouTube for free. Listen, the prelims of any event, of any organization, people are like, oh, I can miss the prelims. These prelims this Friday night, such close fights. All the best prospects are being pitted against each other in these prelims. This is the most low-key Bellator event. It's a small venue. It's going to be rocking the whole time. It's like this event isn't going to get the promotion it deserves from Bellator, from Junkie Fighting, and all these other pages. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to see some good fights this weekend, Friday night, Bellator 293, the prelims and the main card. There's no UFC this weekend, so for all the UFC onlys out there, wake up.
I mean, what do you got to lose, folks? It's free $99. The prelims are stacked, as he said. A lot of these matchups are so good. The odds are so close with some of the Bellator staples. I'm super excited to see them. We're spoiled. We get to see it live, but I hope that you guys are tuning in on YouTube. Just type in Bellator MMA. Boom, it's going to be live up there for you guys.
Sir.
We'll link it on our social media, as I always do. Dylan, I appreciate the time, man.
Thanks
All
for
the
having
best
me.
to you, brother. The first of many. Dylan Rush, folks.